Okay. Mr. Dobrinsky,
Your Honor,
this is 212730 LT, the Parks of Belleville versus Vita Brown.
Seymour Dobrinsky appearing on behalf of the Parks of Belleville, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, sir?
Vita Brown.
Your name is Vita
No,
Brown?
My name is Theodore Daniels. It's under, that's my mother right here. She couldn't. I'm under the lease too. She couldn't make it.
What do you mean she couldn't make it?
She's out of town. But when we had the first court date, I didn't know we still had the first court date. That was the 14th.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you missed that, and I didn't know because you paid the rent. But
Your Honor, the
Mr.
only
Dobrinsky, are you able to hear this conversation?
vaguely, but Vita Brown is the only person on the lease, Your Honor. I don't know who this gentleman is.
That's
Excuse
where I
me.
was gonna go. Sir, if you would come up to this podium, thank you, Jamie.
There's no
If you
occupant.
come up to the podium, then he can see you at least. Let me make it so he can
Yeah.
see you.
Vita Brown did not appear at the pretrial hearing either. And I don't know who this gentleman is. And the only person on the lease is Vita Brown, and it is a female.
I understand that. Would you spell your name for me, please?
Theodore, Theodore, Daniels, Daniels.
Mr. Daniels, Mr. Dobrinsky is correct. Your mother, Ms. Vita Brown, is the only named defendant in this matter.
Well, I thought they had, because.
You're listed as an occupant on the lease.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, he's
Looking
not.
back at the summons and complaint, it actually indicates Vita Brown and all occupants.
I understand, but he is not listed as an occupant on the lease, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dobrinsky, I'm looking in your file. I'm looking at the lease renewal. The premises are to be used as a private residence only. Lessees
you are
and
correct, Your
those family
Honor.
members, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
You are correct. I see it on the renewal. Theodore Daniels. I see it.
correct. That being the case, that Mr. Daniels is properly an occupant and has presented himself to the court this morning on this non-payment of rent complaint. My question to you, Mr. Daniels, is are you and Ms. Brown jointly or separately seeking financial assistance in paying the back rent?
Yes.
Through what agency?
No, I work with DoorDash, so she get money through the state, like she get retirement money and all that.
Okay, I guess, let me ask it a different way. For this past due rent, are you seeking any financial assistance from the state or from another
No, ma'am.
agency?
No.
Okay, is there a reason why the rent's not paid, or is there some conversation you need to have with your apartment
I was
complex?
gonna pay the rest today.
You're gonna pay what's due today?
Yes, but this was last month. That's why, because I supposed to came on the 14th.
Right,
But I paid the rent, but it was like the day before the first. But I guess they said that still didn't help, but I still had to go to court, and I didn't know.
Mr. Dobrinsky, how much is owed right now?
Our records show that the rent owed is $1,195.88. Court costs of $164 for a total of $1,359.88. If Mr. Brown, Daniels rather, is going to pay the rent today, perhaps we could put this off for a week.
That's where I was going. Are you gonna be able to pay $1,359.88 before next Wednesday?
Yes, I could pay 1,000 now, and I could pay 300 Friday, the rest Friday.
Mr. Dobrinsky, is that acceptable?
That's acceptable, Your Honor. If you could put it off for
What
1 week.
So will that cut out the eviction?
It will, because this is a non-payment of rent case, and so long as you pay, you can stay. I'm going to adjourn it, Paige. I don't know whose docket is the 28th, but I'm going to put it over to 7/28/2021 at 1 p.m. If Mr. Daniels, go ahead.
It's gonna be Judge Oakley's docket. Are you putting it on his
Keep it-
docket or with you?
No, keep it with me, please.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I have all kind of magic assistants, so. It's so long as Mr. Daniels pays, I'm suspecting that Mr. Dobrinsky would submit a dismissal to the court, so the parties would not need to appear.
Okay.
But that means
Absolute-
that you need to get that money paid.
Oh, I will.
So do you need to write that down, or are you gonna keep track that it's $1,359.88?
Yeah, I need to write that down.
July 28th at 1 p.m., Your Honor.
July 28th at 1 p.m. unless the court receives a dismissal from you.
We will, if we're paid, the dismissal will be sent in, Your Honor.
Thank you. My court officer is just giving him the total again of
13.
$1,359.88.
All right.
You pay that, like you said, 1,000 today and the balance by Friday. I'm sure Mr. Dobrinsky would submit a dismissal versus coming on next Wednesday at 1 p.m., okay?
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Daniels? Anything else, Mr. Dobrinsky?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week unless we don't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was that it for you this morning? Oh, he went that fast. Next up, Ms. Kalo, what are you here for? Ms. Colo, I'm sorry, what are you here for?
I'm here on Lambert v. Stepchuck, Your Honor.
Step Chuck,
Yes, Your Honor.
this is 2126690 LT Sherlyn Lambert, buyer conservator Anthony Lambert versus Wendy Stepchuck.
Correct, Your Honor. We actually filed a dismissal late yesterday afternoon, but I wasn't sure if it was processed by your court or not. So I wanted to appear and let you know we were dismissing this matter.
The civil department sent the dismissal up. The court will sign it. The only reason why it wasn't signed before, I wasn't sure if it had been conveyed to the defendant that the dismissal had been submitted.
We'll make sure that it is, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you so very much. I don't know if anyone else will come in. There are other people scheduled to physically be here. I am signing the dismissal. If Ms. Stepchuck appears, I'll let her know that it has been signed and that the court will send a copy to her attention.
Great. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes.
Is this the only thing you have this morning, ma'am?
That is it, Your Honor.
Okay. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
To speak.
Yes, they are. Mr. Robinson. How are you today, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I am wonderful. This is, Ms. Maddox, you're going to need to at least sit up for your case. 212629 LT, Royal Village versus Christina Maddox. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Steve Robinson appearing on behalf of the village.
Christina Maddox. I'm sorry, Your
Miss
Honor, I'm not
Maddox.
feeling well.
I understand, ma'am. We'll keep this as quick as possible. Today is the day and time set for the second hearing on this termination of tenancy complaint. Mr. Robinson, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we had an opportunity to meet with the My Resolve week, or I think it was 2 weeks ago, Judge. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We did have some discussion about ways to potentially resolve this. This is a termination of tenancy, Judge. It's not a non-payment of rent. It's my understanding, talking with my client, that at least informally, those particular issues haven't been addressed to our satisfaction. So we'd like to proceed on the termination of tenancy.
Ms. Maddox, did you hear the comments just made by Mr. Robinson?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I had
And-
spoke to Linda 2 days ago and let her know that my son had moved to his girlfriend's house with his new
No,
baby.
you have not.
They came back down here. Yes, they did.
No, you have not. You have not spoken to me.
No.
Okay.
You already know that we don't do that. Miss Maddox, please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. I informed Linda 2 days ago that Solon had left the park. He did come back into the park, however, the front end of my car was tore down. He came in here and he fixed it for me, so I have a vehicle. I am sick and on my own, and my son is my caregiver because I have cancer. And she does not like my son because he took a bag of pop cans off a porch and he
Miss
went over
Maddox.
there.
Miss
Okay.
Maddox,
Yes,
hold
ma'am.
on. I'm only interrupting you because my question is, are you ready this morning? And if you're ready to proceed, we'll have a full hearing. But what I'd like to do is
am.
get the people who.
I am.
Okay, then I'm going to have you sit still with Mr. Robinson. I'm going to take care of these other attorneys, these other people who are here. And if we can get these other people out of the way, I'll get you sworn in and we can actually have the hearing in this matter, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
We'll get
ma'am.
back to you momentarily. Mr. Ruark,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning, sir. What are you here for?
I'm here on Farhan Ahmad versus Carriage Park Community Services. It's 2689 is the case number.
Thank you. I wanted to thank you for attaching the full lease. When I reviewed the file, it's so unusual to see it in its entirety. It's
Thank you,
refreshing. 212689 LT, Ahmad Farhan versus Carriage Park Community Services. Appearances, please.
Ronald Ruark for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Have you had any contact with Carriage Park regarding
Not a
this
lot,
matter?
Your Honor. Not a lot, Your Honor, but just as way of an explanation, Mr. Davis, Gene Davis, is the guy who runs a group home. His normal way of proceeding is to get a judgment against him and then he gets it to the state of Michigan and gets it paid. So this is not unusual that he's not here this morning.
Well, sir, the defendant received notice to appear at 9 o'clock. It's now 9:12 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, there being no one in the court's virtual waiting room, no unidentified person in the court's virtual main session. How would you like to proceed?
I would ask the court for default judgment in the amount of $6,000 for the rent that's owed, $194 in costs, for a total judgment of $61.94.
Inasmuch as the defendant has failed to appear pursuant to the notice, default judgment shall enter in favor of plaintiff and against defendant, rent to retain possession $6,000, court cost of $194 for a total of $6,194. Mr. Rourke, if you could submit the default judgment to the court will sign the same.
And who should I email it to, Your Honor?
That was it.
Paige, are you just using, is it just civil at 34th District Court -mi.org?
Yep.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day.
You too, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is 211931 LT Huron Estates versus Brandon Carter and Janelle Cragen. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Dan, appearing on behalf of the
If your case has not been called, please mute yourself. Mr. Lamon, today was the day and time set for a hearing on the non-payment of rent complaint. This matter had previously been stayed due to an application, a SARA application submitted by the defendants the court did receive the plaintiff's request to lift the stay on July the 9th. How are we proceeding this morning, sir?
Your Honor, I believe that the case is to be dismissed. I believe I only have one case before you this morning, and that is not the one that I was expecting to be arguing. So I will check and
I'm sorry.
that with my staff. I believe we've already submitted a dismissal.
Paige,
Yes, ma'am.
was this dismissed 211931?
When did you submit the dismissal, Mr. Landman?
With our staff right now.
Because I don't have one on file.
Mr. Lamb, I'll make a note in the file that the case is being dismissed. If your office will send it over, Paige will connect those two things together. And the court will sign the dismissal, okay?
Your Honor, the legal assistant that handles the dismissals is on her way right now. Your Honor, harder.
Thank you.
Right. Hang on, we're checking on that right now. Don't dismiss yet. Meanwhile, I know.
I'm sorry, wait.
South.
Mr. Lamb, you broke up there for a second. Did you say don't dismiss it?
I'm saying put it on hold for a second. We're checking. Make sure.
Paige, Officer Brooks is already on his way. I'm sorry, Officer Brooks is already on his way downstairs with the file. So if you would hold the Huron Estates and Carter file.
Yeah, I will, Judge.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Do you want me to have him bring it back up, or I can run it up?
No, just hold on to it until Mr. Lamb figures out what's going on with his file.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Judge.
While we pass that moment, if we only leave out versus Clemens, that's the case that I know.
Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb, you have a horrible connection. Did I hear you to say that Clemens is the only one that you're expecting this morning?
Really what I was aware of this morning that I knew was before you.
Mr. Lamb, you might want to disconnect and try to reconnect because you're going in and out.
All right. Let me do that, Your Honor. I will reconnect momentarily.
Thank you so much. I'll see you when you come back in.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Attorney Greenwood, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Your Honor. I have a
Was that you yelling
PCC
out
on
just
Hunter
now?
Range.
You have a PCC?
I just.
You're in the wrong
but
place.
I
I'm
must have the
landlord
wrong
tenant
date
this
because
morning.
you're doing LT.
I'm not doing PCCs this morning. That's why I think you might be in the wrong place.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No,
Any
we'll
idea
help
when
you
his
get-
case is?
We'll help you get where you need to be. Listen, one person at a time. Mr. Greenwood, if you would just state your client's name again, somebody will look it up.
Hunter Range.
Range.
Yes, ma'am.
Marianne or Paige, if you would look that up for me, please. Never mind. Mr. Greenwood, you are supposed to be with Judge Oakley. His Zoom ID number is 491-975-6966. 6074.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
zoom in there right now. Thank you.
Have a good day, sir. Mr. Gerda, on 212786LT, Brooksy Garver versus Jessica Gearhart and Ian Gearhart. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Gerda, P 80756, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you, sir. Today is the day and time set for the hearing on this non-payment of rent matter. Case had previously been scheduled on July the 14th, where the defendants failed to appear. It is 9:20 by the court's clock. This matter was scheduled for 9 a.m. How would you like to proceed this morning?
Based upon the defendant's failure to appear, I request that a default judgment enter. There's currently $580 in rent due and owing, plus $160 in court fees and costs, for a total of $740 to be paid on or before August 2nd, 2021. And no monetary judgment was prayed for nor sought at this time. And I can submit proposed judgment to the court today.
Thank you, sir. Again, this matter was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It's now 9:21 by the court's clock. The defendants have failed to appear this morning. There are no unidentified persons in the court's virtual waiting room or in the actual main session. Based on the defendant's failure to appear, default judgment shall enter in favor of plaintiff and against defendant with rent to retain of $580, cost of $160, for a total of $740. Mr. Gerda, if your office would submit the judgment to the court will enter the same.
Very well, Your Honor. It's civil at 34thdistrictcourt.org.
-mi.org.
Very good. I'll have that submitted promptly. Thank you.
Was that the only one for your office this morning?
It is, yes. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gerda. Have a good day, ma'am. Sitting with the gentleman drinking. Your names, please.
Say your name.
Emmanuel Dragon.
What are you here for?
We have case number 212785. I am Emmanuel's sister. He is disabled and his disability is a mental disability. So I'm pretty much just his mouth for him.
Okay, ma'am. I'm going to, I haven't quite gotten there yet, but going to ask you to mute yourself until your case is called, please.
Yes, I'm sorry. I realized that.
That's okay. You're fine. Ms. Wilburn, are you here in place of Mr. Lamon?
That's correct, Your Honor.
He was having some kind of technical this morning, it seems. Just a skosh.
On the Huron Estates case, that one can be dismissed. The Cragen and Carter matter, we confirmed that one can be dismissed.
Huron Estates, okay.
Yeah.
And then next up for your office that I see is 212640 LT West Village Estates versus Roshan Butler.
All right, Your Honor, I do not have that file before me. One more time, what was it, Butler?
First name Roshan, ROSHAWN.
Okay, let me check on that one. The one I have before me is Maple Leaf Gardens and Stephen Clemens, 212809.
I'll get there in 1 second, but I'm trying to figure out, I have a docket in a certain order and I'm just trying to figure out which of your cases is actually going. 212653 West Village versus Jacob Stewart and Ariana Sims.
All right, let me go grab that file from Mr. Landman as well.
Okay, then, well, and then the last
Unless-
one would be the one you just said, 212809 LT, Maple Leaf Garden South MHC LLC versus Stephen Clemens.
On this one, Your Honor, John Wilburn, P 83143 for the plaintiff.
Today is the day and time set for the second hearing in this matter. The parties were first here on July 14th. Well, it was first scheduled for July 14th. The Register of Action indicates that the defendant failed to appear. The matter was to be set for in-person hearing on the non-payment of rent complaint scheduled for 9 a.m. today. It's now 9:25 by the court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in the court's virtual waiting room or in the main session. Defendants having failed to appear. Ms. Wilburn, how would you like to proceed this morning?
Based on that, Your Honor, I'm asking for a default possession only judgment. There is rent to retain in the amount of $671.06, court costs of $164.50 for a total of $835.56, a writ to issue after August 2nd if that amount is not paid, and no CDC declaration has been received.
Thank you. Inasmuch as the defendant has failed to appear this morning, default judgment shall enter in favor of plaintiff and against defendant in the matter of Maple Leaf versus Stephen Clemens with rent to retain of $671.06, cost of $164.50 for a total of $835.56, writ on or after August 2nd. Plaintiff to submit the default judgment to the court. Anything else in this matter, Ms. Wilburn?
Nothing in this matter, and I believe the other two were dismissed, but let me just go verify that.
Confirm it. I'll get some other out of the way and we'll get back to it.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. This is 212766. Where's Mr. Katz? No Mr. Katz, no Mr. Applebaum.
Zachary True appearing on behalf of Mr. Applebaum.
You just pop up like that. Give me 212770 LT, Michigan Rental LLC versus Wade Stevens and Irma Baker.
Zachary True.
Appearance again, please.
I'm sorry, Zachary True appearing on behalf of plaintiff, P83966.
Today is the day and time set for the second hearing in this matter. First hearing was on July 14, 2021, at which time the defendants failed to appear. Matter was set for in-person hearing today at 9 a.m. It's now 9:28 a.m. by the court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in the court's virtual waiting room or in the main session. Defendants have failed to appear this morning. How do you wish to proceed, sir?
I would ask for a default judgment. Court rent owing is $2,269.20 with a writ date of August 2nd, please.
You said rent of $2,259.20?
I thought it was $2,269.20.
And what were your costs?
We're not asking for costs at this time.
I'm sorry, they're not asking for a cost?
No.
Okay. Default judgment shall enter. If you would submit that to the court, court will sign the same.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
That was it for you, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Your Honor, and if I may interrupt, those two West Village
No, you may
Estates-
not interrupt. No, you may not interrupt. I'm sorry, Ms. Wilbur, I was getting ready to pull the files back. It's just when people scream out like that, Other people think they can do the same thing, and you wouldn't do that if you were standing here in court, and I would just appreciate it. Give me 1 second. I'll get back on 212640 LT West Village Estates versus Roshan Butler and 212653 LT West Village Estates versus Jacob Stewart.
Apologies, Your Honor.
Now,
And those
thank
are
you so very much.
both dismissals.
Have dismissals already been submitted to the court?
Yes, they have.
Thank you, ma'am. As soon as they come upstairs, we'll get them signed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. This is 212785 LT Source Realty Management Group versus Emmanuel Dragul. Now, ma'am, if you would unmute yourself and identify yourself.
Go ahead.
Hello, Honor.
Your name.
My name is Emmanuel Dragul.
Thank you. And ma'am, your name?
My name is Michaela Tekesian. I am his
Could you spell
sister.
your last name for me, please?
E like Tom, A, K like kite, E, S like Sam, S like Sam, I-A-N, like Nancy.
Thank you so very much. This matter was scheduled for the second hearing. First hearing was on July 14, 2021 at 10 a.m. The note in the file indicates that the defendant failed to appear. The matter was then set for a in-person hearing. You were supposed to be here in person this morning. But I would note that the defendant is here, but the plaintiff has not appeared. I have not seen Mr. Landau's office this morning.
May I say something? We were in a wrong
Yes, please.
courtroom. We were in a wrong courtroom last time for 3 hours. So it wasn't really a no-show. Then they put us in the right courtroom and set us for this date.
Have you had some communication with Mr. Landau's office regarding this non-payment of rent matter?
Are you speaking to me?
I am, ma'am.
No,
Or
actually,
you or your brother.
We never had any contact with Mr. Landau.
Are you his guardian or are you just assisting him this morning?
I assist him because he won't speak. His disability is schizophrenia, and he doesn't read mail, or he won't talk on his own. So I do all his care. I pay all his bills. I'm not his legal representative, or I'm not his guardian. Just his caregiver. I'm sorry.
That's a problem, ma'am, because in order for you to speak on his behalf, you have to be an attorney. So
Okay.
if he's able to answer the questions, I just appreciate it.
He is.
Has the rent been caught up?
That's where the problem is. The rent has not been. Oh, Manuel, is it okay if he's here?
I'm asking Mr. Drago, has the rent been caught up? Is there rent due and owing right now?
Answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We won't get into that any further. Reason being, this matter was scheduled at 9 o'clock. It's 9:34 by the court's clock. I don't
We've
know
been
why
in
the
here.
plaintiff is not. I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
Oh,
I
no,
thought
I didn't hear what you said.
I thought you were you're speaking of us.
I am talking, well, I'm talking about the plaintiff's attorney. Whoever represents Source Realty Management Group, Mark D. Landau, is not here. What happens is you're at home, but I'm actually still in the courtroom. There's a little bit of a delay between what I say and what you say, and they record these proceedings. So I want to make it clear that you're here. I've called the case. Plaintiff's attorney is not here. I have not received any indication from our civil department that Mr. Landau is here or not here, or why he's not here, but he's not. I've called the case. We're more than 15 minutes past the scheduled start time, which is what time the court does defaults and dismissals. Based on the based on the plaintiff's failure to appear this morning, this matter will be dismissed. Ma'am, that doesn't mean that that's the end of it. They're just not here. And they might have a reason for their failure to appear this morning. So it's not, the rent's not going to go away, but for right now, the matter is concluded with the dismissal.
May I ask what we're looking forward in advance from here? What's going to happen?
They might refile the case, ma'am, or the attorney might call in the next hour and say, I was tied up physically on a record somewhere. I was in the wrong court. And they might have a good reason for not being here at 9:35. And just as I would allow a tenant to say, I was not there because I was sick, I was in the hospital, my child was X, Y, or Z a thing, I would allow you to come, or your brother to come back and have his hearing based on his having a good reason for not being here the first time. So if the plaintiff has a good reason for not being here today, we might be back in this matter, is all I'm trying to be sure that you know. But if the rent's still due, if you can catch it up, catch it up. Otherwise, like I said,
it's not that type of situation. It's not that type of situation. We'll just wait.
I understand. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Back on the record in 212629 LT Royal Village LLC versus Christina Maddox. Mr. Robinson and Ms. Maddox, I already have your appearances. Ma'am from Royal Village, please accept my apology. I was not trying to be rude to you before, but what happens is once one person starts yelling out, people think they can just yell out, and it makes it confusing because I can't hear anybody.
Sorry, I apologize to you for doing that.
I appreciate that, and I thank you so very much. It's a little different experience for us. Where we started before at 9:08 was that there was going to be a hearing on this termination of tenancy complaint. And Ms. Maddox, I asked you, were you ready to proceed? And you were starting to explain your situation, but are you ready to proceed this morning on your hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way I can get a court-appointed attorney?
There are legal services that may be available to you, and information regarding the office to contact would have been included when you were served with the summons and complaint back on, looks like June the 25th of this year. Have you made efforts to contact legal services or retain an attorney?
No, the papers were taped to the front of my place and were destroyed by water when it was raining. They were taped to the outside of my house, not by my door. But
when you appeared back on July the 7th, were you advised of the legal resources that might be available?
No. Here's the thing. They wanted my son to move out. My son lives at 25372 Statler Street in Taylor, Michigan. He came here 2 days ago. He was here 2 days ago. He put together the whole front end of my car, so I now have moving wheels. Okay. The landlord of this park has went around to everybody in our park and has told them, and my son has a lawn business, has told them, do not let him cut your lawn, period. Do not let him cut your lawn. She's been going through harassment.
Ms. Maddox?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Maddox?
Yes.
I want to hear what you have to say. The thing is, we do things in a certain order. And when you say to me that you're looking for some legal assistance, and I asked you a question, when you were here on July the 7th, did anyone advise you that there were legal resources that you could reach out to if you needed assistance?
Not on the 7th, no.
Not on the 7th, and you're saying that when you were served with the summons and complaint, the paperwork was destroyed because it was posted, and so you didn't have the contact information for legal aid?
Yes, ma'am. Here's the paperwork right here that she posted to the front of my house instead of by my front door. This is the paperwork. It was soaking wet and unlegible to anything. She taped it on the
Well,
outside of my house instead of under my awning by my door.
I don't know who she is because
The
Rocco
landlady.
Rossi, who is it?
The landlady.
Rocco Rossi, who is the court officer, is the one who posted that.
Okay, then that's who posted it. I was not home at the time. Your Honor, I've been in and out of the hospital. I've been having heart surgeries. I have lung cancer, breast cancer. I've been in and out of the hospitals. So when I got that letter, it was soaking wet. And Linda knows also that I've been in and out of the hospital. I haven't even been all right to even, do anything for myself. My son that she complains about was my caregiver. And I'm not lying to Your Honor. He took a bag of bottles off of a porch across the street. The guy told him he could. The girl said he couldn't. She went to the office, got him in trouble. Recently, there were some puppies by Van Born Road. My son picked up one. He didn't know where it went to. Gave it to somebody at the beginning of the park. When the cops came, the dog was brought right back. There's 2 other dogs, and they're also on the Humane Society watch list.
Miss Maddox,
Yes, ma'am.
where we are again is procedurally there is a way that we are supposed to do things. And when you
Yes,
tell me that you were not advised that you have legal resources available, I will have them give you the phone number. But then you launch into the story, which I believe is your defense to the complaint. So if it's your position that you're requesting time to get at least in touch with legal aid, that's one thing. If you're
Please.
saying to me, Judge Martin, I'm prepared to proceed on my own this morning, that's something else.
No,
So
I'd like
you
to
have
have
to
a
tell me
lawyer.
what it is that you're trying to do.
I'd like to have a lawyer at this point.
Is there a reason why you haven't made efforts to contact legal services before?
I don't have the legal services number, but I do now from
Did you
your
call
court.
somebody to get it? Did you ask for it?
Yes, from your courthouse, I did get it. And I called and left a message for them this morning.
You were served, okay, I'm not gonna belabor the point, but you have the phone number now
Yes, ma'am.
and you've left a message. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Robinson, if we could put this matter over. Ms. Maddox, here's the thing. There is no guarantee that any legal services agency will be available to assist you. But because you have asked for an attorney and you've indicated to the court that you've at least made the effort with a voicemail this morning, we will put this matter over again. Mary Ann, I do not have a calendar. I don't know if August 3rd is our civil date, or Mr. Robinson, if you want to maybe go on the end of a landlord tenant default date. I'm looking at a calendar that's not helpful to me. So Mary Ann maybe will give me a good date.
August 3rd, you have video arraignments, and I don't know if Paige is there. Maybe she can check your that day for or for civil.
While Paige is looking on August 3rd, civil, Mr. Robinson, are you available on the 3rd?
Judge, I'm actually going to, I think it's in your court. I do have a 12 o'clock on the 3rd on another landlord tenant on a town and country case. Maybe it's not you.
Maybe.
Okay, it's probably Judge.
It might be me, Mr. Robinson. I don't have a calendar.
Oh, okay.
If I may.
Paige.
I'm sorry, Judge. It's at 11 on the 3rd. He does have a bench trial.
Okay. Ms. Maddox, what were you starting to say?
If I may, I have several signed documents from the neighbors in the park here that my son does lawn service for these people, and nothing has ever came up missing out of their yard outside of the dog that he picked up by Van Born and bottles off of the lady across the street's porch. You know, she calls
Ms.
him a thief.
Maddox? Ms. Maddox,
Yes, ma'am.
I try to be respectful, but this
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
3rd time I'm now going down this path with you that either you want more time to get an
I
attorney
do.
or you want to present a defense.
I want
And
my
we're
attorney.
we'll do whatever you want to do. We're talking about August 3rd as an adjourned date. So if
I'd like
August
an
3rd,
adjourned.
August 3rd at maybe not, I'm sorry. If he's here at 11, maybe 10:30 on this case?
That
Judge,
would be better for me, Your Honor.
I have in my, it doesn't matter to me, Judge, but I have it in my calendar for noon. But it doesn't matter to me, Judge, whatever time the court would like.
No, it's not whatever time I like. It's what time will work for all of them, because my next question was going to be to your client representative, if they're available on August 3rd at 10:30.
Linda?
Ma'am?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm available.
Okay. Thank you. August 3rd at 10:30 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. That's fine.
Anything else this morning, Mr. Robinson?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Maddox?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
We're all set. I'll see you back here on August 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, Mr. Katz, I knew it was weird that you weren't here. I waited to call your case. I figured you would show up eventually.
My internet was out. It's out in my office, so I have to use my hotspot, and it hasn't been pleasant.
You could have just driven here. I would have been very happy to see you on 212766 LT Barrington Romulus Apartments versus Tammy Fournier. This is the day and time set for the second hearing in this non-payment of rent matter. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sidney Katz, P51471 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Mr. Katz, again, this matter was scheduled for 9 a.m. It's now 9:46 by the court's clock. There are no unidentified persons in the court's virtual waiting room. The defendant has failed to appear this morning. How would you like to proceed, sir?
Your Honor, I'm requesting a default judgment in this case, if I can proceed with the terms.
Yes, please.
This is a non-payment rent possession judgment case. As of today, there's a balance due of $2,622 of rent, $152 of costs, for a total of $2,774. Requesting a default judgment in that amount with a writ with a writ to be issued after July 31st.
Inasmuch as the defendant has failed to appear as scheduled, default judgment shall enter in favor of plaintiff and against defendant with rent to retain of $2,622, cost of $152 for a total of $2,774. Plaintiff to submit default judgment to the civil department. Anything else this morning, Mr. Katz?
I think that was the only case that I have.
It is the only case. I just got distracted by Mr. Nunley, but
okay.
Mr. Katz, always a pleasure to see you.
Can I just ask Paige a quick question, because I was in the mediation and I'm trying to find out when the next court hearings are going to be in those. Paige? No. Okay. I'll try calling later on today.
She's here.
I'm here.
Paige?
Oh,
yeah.
So I had a first hearing earlier. When are the second hearings on those?
It was set for this morning. So it's probably going to be, if it's just going over a week, it'll be July 28th.
28th. Okay.
And it'll be in front of Judge Oakley at 1:30.
Okay. She had told me the 27th. I thought that it would be the 28th. Perfect. Okay.
Oh,
thank you.
okay. I'll let Nick know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Mr. Nunley.
How are you, Judge?
I am wonderful. I have not seen you. How's everything?
I know, it's like every time I'm on like a docket, like I somehow keep missing you. We're like ships in the night.
What are you doing here? I'm not criminal this morning.
I know, I'm looking for a client, an actual retained client who we had a pre-trial in front of Judge Green a month ago, and then she said it's going to be in front of Judge Oakley. Been over there for about an hour and it's just nobody seems to be there. So I thought maybe I was in the wrong place, but Mary Ann just confirmed that I should be with Judge Oakley. So really, I just want to stop by and say hi and make sure you're doing okay.
Good to see you. Last time I saw you, I think you were packing to move.
Yeah, and then 2 months after we moved in, that giant storm like hit our house and we got 2.5 feet of sewage in the basement. We lost
Mm.
everything that was in our basement. We moved in, had a floor put down, had to have the floor ripped out, all the drywall ripped out. So welcome to the neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, listen, good to see you, but get over to Judge Oakley.
I will. I got him up over here. All right, see ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Christy Granger.
Oh, sorry.
Ms.
She was waiting for me. My name is Cheryl Jackson. I thought I was supposed to be in this courtroom this morning.
Ms. Jackson, what do you have scheduled?
It was with my landlord here on estate for an eviction.
Huron Estates. I only had one Huron Estates case. And
Yeah,
that
I
was
had
not,
called and the clerk while you guys were still doing your meetings, and she said to just go ahead and stay on just in case you called my name. So I did. I heard you guys say there was only one thing for them this morning.
Judge.
okay. I just saw you. I see you in the gallery, and I don't want people sitting in the wrong courtroom any longer than they have to be.
Okay.
Hey,
I only
Judge.
have one file left, and it's not yours.
Okay. Should
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How do you hang up this thing?
Okay. This is 212810LT. This is Parkwood Manor versus Janice May. Appearances, please.
Richard Herman, plaintiff.
State your name for me, please, ma'am.
Janice Mays.
Judge.
Mr. Herman.
Yep,
Ms.
I
Mays
wanna-
was here earlier and I sent her away because you were going to be late.
Yes. I want to thank you, Judge, for indulging me. Was it Beaumont? Apologize. May I want to thank you well for your patience.
Mr. Herman, this was actually the adjourned date on a termination of tenancy matter. Have the parties been able to speak and resolve this matter?
We have, Judge, we actually entered the judgment last week at the pretrial, but pursuant to the rules, it's been hard today with the new meeting. So let's put the consent on the record, if I may.
Yes, please.
So this will terminate the tenancy. Ms. Mays will have until September 14th to reside in the unit, at which point she must move out or a RIP will issue. We are waiving the 56-day rule, as I put in paragraph 10. And I read her rights under the court rule. And just to remind you today that you have 3 days at Judge Martin to set aside if you have a good reason to do so. She also gave consent to name, which I did.
Mr. Herman, you're cutting in and out, so I will just repeat for Ms. May. Ms. May, Mr. Herman just indicated that you understand and wish to agree to move out of the rental by September 14th, 2021. Is that accurate?
I don't have a choice in the matter because they're all lies, and I guess I have to accept it.
Ms. May, you don't have to accept it. My question to you was, is that what you agreed to? And if you say, no, that's not what you agreed to, my next question to you would be, do you want to have a hearing in this matter? And then we would have a hearing in this matter. So if you have to tell the court what it is that we're doing today. Are you agreeing as?
Your Honor, they told me I didn't have a choice.
I wasn't part of that conversation, Ms. May, but the way things work is if the parties have a consent judgment and they submit it to the court will sign it. But I always inquire of people. The attorney has said, these are your terms. Is this your agreement? And if you say yes, the court will sign it and it will become the order. If you say no, then the next question is, are you prepared to have a hearing in this matter?
Can I get a later move date?
What are you thinking?
Because I'm 65 years old. I've been looking for apartments. I can't find any. And I would be so homeless.
So we started out with July 26th is the move up date. Actually, that would have been July, 26th. And then you wanted.
Mr. Herman, you have a bad connection. You keep cutting out.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So then you agreed to September 14th. That was your date. Do you need a couple extra days? Do you need another week?
Yes, I do.
I will give you another week. I will give you until September 21, 2021. Okay?
Well,
okay.
Perfect.
have the issues listed in the notice to quit been resolved? Is
They
this
will
a
be.
correctable situation?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not resolved, Your Honor.
That's right. This is the way it has to be, Judge. There's not going to be a happy ending if it's stays. So
That's fine. I just had to ask because I saw what was listed in the
yep.
Notice to quit.
Yep.
Ms. May, is it your intention and your agreement to vacate 44-9304 Parkwood Street in Van Buren Township by September 21st?
Yes.
And that's what you wish to consent and agree to this morning?
Yes.
If Mr. Herman presents to the court a consent judgment that indicates that you will move by that date, does he have your permission to attach your signature to it?
They already done used my signature anyway on the eviction papers, so it shouldn't make a difference.
Ms. May, my question is, does he have your permission to sign the agreement that you will be out by September 21st?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's circle back to they forged your signature on what?
On those papers, the eviction papers that they served me with. Half of those papers in there was fraudulent, and my signature was put on those papers. Those are not my signature.
I don't even know what papers we're talking about, Judge.
They're in the eviction papers, sir.
The eviction papers, ma'am, were the summons and the complaint. Your signature.
Yes.
Your signature is not on those anywhere.
Okay, well, the papers I got my signature on them. And it came from the court too. I had the ones that came from the court too. They're on there.
That's correct. Your signature is not on those papers.
My name is on those papers of the violations. Those
Your
signatures on there, those are not mine.
Your signature is not on any of the papers received from the court, nor from me.
So you're telling me I'm lying?
Ma'am, see, this is, Ms. May, this is the thing, and this is where the court's concerned. The parties appear to have had an agreement. The court inquires a little bit. You indicate that this is not really what you want to agree to, that you need more time. Mr. Herman agrees to more time, and you are disputing the validity of some of the documents they submitted. The court does not like to enter agreements that aren't true agreements. So if it's not your agreement, again, the court is happy to have a hearing and swear everybody in, and you can present witnesses and they'll present witnesses, but the court only moves like the parties ask it to move. If Mr. Herman says this is the agreement, and you're saying this is the agreement, and the question that I ask you is this what you want to agree to, and is it okay for him to submit the consent with your signature, and you start talking about fraudulent documents, the court is just concerned.
I tried to
And
talk.
typically what would happen is if you were physically here in court, Mr. Herman would write it on the agreement, he would pass it to you and you would sign it. But Zoom has made it so that we have to just have a better way to efficiently move the papers. But you were about to say, go ahead, please.
The paper, I tried to explain the papers when we went for the arraignment or whatever you call it, first court day. And didn't no one want to hear it. You were not here.
I was here. I'm here
Excuse me.
every day from 8 to 4, ma'am.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Hello?
Yes,
Excuse me.
sir.
I'm sorry, this is her grandson. She's having a hard time trying to explain what she really means. What she's
Sir?
really trying to get. Hello?
No. No. Your name. Let's start with that, please.
Dante Shivers. I'm her grandson. The complaint is about me, but I haven't lived with her since I was 7.
Dante, last name is?
Shivers. Shivers.
Mr. Shivers.
Yes,
Here's
ma'am.
the thing. I'm just looking at the documents in the court file. Are you a party to this action?
Yes, but I haven't lived there. I only go there to check on my grandmother, and that's it.
No. I'm looking at Mr. Herman, I'll get to you in 1 second. I'm looking at the summons and complaint, and it lists Janice May and all other occupants. Are you an occupant at the premises?
Apparently in their eyes, but I haven't stayed there since I was 17 again.
So you're not an occupant in the premises. I never claimed that you were.
No, but the complaint is about me.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
what she was getting at.
You're not an
I feel like you
occupant.
never got a chance to hear that part.
You're not an
Well,
occupant.
Mr. Shivers, here's the way that the court works. Only parties get an opportunity to present.
I know, I'm
So,
sorry.
Mr. Shivers, hear me out. Mr. Herman represents the apartment complex.
Yes, on her behalf.
Your grandmother is the only listed person. If you have some testimony that you'd like to give regarding the underlying complaint, we would have to have an actual hearing. And I've asked Ms. May a couple of times if she wanted to have, if she was entering into an agreement or if we needed to have a hearing on this matter. Inasmuch as Mr. Herman has indicated that the agreements that she will move by September 21st, and she started to say that that was her agreement. Before you say what you need to say, my question remains, is Ms. May agreeing to move by September 21st, or do we need to have a hearing in this matter?
She would rather have a hearing in this matter, but she felt like she had no choice at the time.
That's
And I
not,
felt like I would be able to explain that a little bit more than her.
Judge.
You can't explain because you can't represent her. You're not
I'm
a
aware,
party to the
and
case.
my apologies. I just don't want her to get emotional and break down and start knowing what to say and just start babbling. My apologies again.
Mr. Shivers, you don't have to apologize. I understand trying to be supportive.
No, I was just letting you know
But they're
that
just-
I'm aware that it's not my place to start speaking.
No, the court wants to get things right. And when somebody says there's an agreement, but it's not really an agreement, the court will never force a person to do something they don't want to do.
She didn't
You
want to
tell me that me ordering something is one thing. The parties telling me they agree is something different. And if Mr. Herman says they agree and Ms. May starts to say she agrees, but not really, it just does. That's not how things work, and that's not the best way to proceed.
I'm aware. And the last conversation her and Mr. Herman had, she broke down crying and she felt like she had no choice because he didn't want to hear her out.
Judge, you know what? Can I chime in for a minute, please?
Absolutely, Mr. Herman.
I can't even believe I'm listening to this. There's a reason why non-parties aren't supposed to be chiming in. First of all, Ms. May and I went into a breakout room and had a fine conversation. I don't ever remember her breaking down. She didn't want to move because she couldn't move in that amount of time. She understands what the underlying issue is. We could get into it. We can have a hearing. I don't really care. But she was willing to move. She just needed more time. I keep giving her more time. I did today. I don't want to see her out on the street. You know I don't want to see her out on the street. So as far as I'm concerned, she is interested in moving. I'm sure her grandson there, I'm not sure what's going on, but if without his interjection, she was fine moving. So I think we need to ask her one more time. Is she agreeing to move by 9/21? If she's not, then we can have a hearing. I'm good with that.
And Ms. May, just so you're aware, if we have a hearing on this matter and it's found that the allegations in the complaint are true and that your tenancy is terminated by law, the court can enter an order that you must move within 10 days. Only saying that so that you're sure and aware of the consequences you face if we go to a hearing in this matter. You have an absolute right to have a hearing. You're sending the court mixed signals. So
No, I'm not sending the court's mixed signals, Your Honor. The attorney is in Parkwood, Village Green. But I'm willing to move out on the 25th, the 21st of September.
And again, you're only saying that because you're scared. Because
you
they
lost
told
your
you-
video.
Did no court things. And this is all new to me.
I understand, ma'am, and that's why we're taking as much time as we take.
That's why
I understand Mr. Herman might not, Mr. Herman does not appreciate non-party speaking because that's not how it's supposed to happen. But because I knew that you were getting support from someone, no, sir, that's not helpful. Because I knew you were getting support from someone off screen, I was going to ask anyway who was assisting you. And I hear what you're saying, and my question to you, what we'll go back to is if you are agreeing to move by September 21st, or do you want to have a hearing? Ms. May,
I will move by September the 21st.
you agree to move by that date?
Yep, so you do.
Yes, I do.
And you agree that Mr. Herman will submit a consent
Yes.
judgment to the court that
Yes.
says you will move by September 21st?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Herman, if you would submit the consent judgment that Ms. May will move by September 21st, that the parties waive the 56-day rule, the court will sign the same. Ma'am, what happens is once it's entered, you'll get a copy of it. You have any questions, once you get a copy of it, please reach back out to the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, Ms.
Anything
May.
else this morning, Mr. Herman?
Nope. Thanks, Judge. I appreciate your patience. And good morning.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, you have a wonderful day. Ms. May, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
You're welcome.
Are these good to go?
Yeah, all of them are good to go.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Why can't I get over here? Thank you.